Wednesday, March 15. Priorities. The parables and teachings of Jesus, the stories of Bible characters, and the counsel of Ellen G. White all indicate clearly that there is no halfway commitment to Christ. Either we are or we are not on the Lord's side. When asked by a scribe which commandment was the greatest, Jesus answered in Mark 12:30, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength." When we give all to Christ, there is nothing left for another master. That is the way it is. That is the way it must be. Read Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. What has been your own experience with the truth of these words? Matthew 6:24, "No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will be loyal to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon." Notice Jesus didn't say that it was hard to serve God and money, or that you needed to be careful in how you served both. He said instead that it couldn't be done, period. This thought should put a bit of fear and trembling in our souls, as we read in Philippians 2 verse 12. "Therefore, my beloved, as you have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling." Read 1 John chapter 2, verses 15 to 17. How are these three things manifested in our world, and why is the danger they present sometimes more subtle than we realize? 1 John 2, beginning at verse 15. "Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world is passing away, and the lust of it. But he who does the will of God abides forever." No wonder Paul wrote, "Set your affections on things above, not on things on the earth," in Colossians chapter 3, verse 2. Of course, that's easier said than done, because the things of the world are right here before us every day. The lure of all that is in the world is strong. The pull for immediate gratification is always there, whispering in our ears, or pulling on our shirt sleeves, or both. Hasn't even the most faithful Christian felt some love for the things of the world? Even with our knowledge that one day it will all end, we still feel the pull, don't we? The good news, however, is that we don't need to let it pull us away from the Lord. And so to finish today, read 2 Peter chapter 3, verses 10 to 14. How should what Paul says here impact how we live, including what we do with our resources? 2 Peter 3, beginning at verse 10. "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens will pass away with a great noise, and the elements will melt with fervent heat. Both the earth and the works that are in them will be burned up. Therefore, since all these things will be dissolved, what manner of persons ought you to be in holy conduct and godliness, looking for and hasting the coming of the day of God, because of which the heavens will be dissolved, being on fire, and the elements will melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth in which righteousness dwells. Therefore, beloved, looking forward to these things, be diligent to be found by him in peace, without spot and blameless." This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind. Sponsored by the Sabbath School Department and distributed through Hope Channel Australia, this podcast is also redistributed by Hope Channel Germany, Christian Record Services for the Blind. It is also available on SoundCloud and through multiple podcast distributors, including Apple iTunes. And you can listen and watch at the same time on YouTube. Remember, God is always faithful. And here is a disclaimer. Contents of these lessons are not intended to be financial advice, but is general commentary based on biblical principles. The reader is encouraged to seek competent professional advice which will suit their particular personal situation.